Hey there, it's Julie from This Beautiful Farm Life, and today my daughter and I are going to be making an Easter resurrection garden. So it's been kind of a tradition at our house the last several years to build a little resurrection garden for our table for Easter dinner. And so today we're just going to show you how we put that together and the things that we bring from our yard, some things we buy, and the supplies that we need. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need is a nice container. This is an old wooden antique box that we have used, and we do have, I think you can see it in there, there's a little bit of plastic lining all the way around the edge that keeps my box from getting wet inside when we water it. And then you're going to need some nice moist potting soil and some water to keep it wet. This one we're going to have a rock is our main piece, and this is a rock that we actually, it was a kind of a lava volcanic rock that we found around our property, and it had a little bit of a hole here, and we just took a drill and drilled it out some more, and so it has a little bit bigger hole there. And then we have a small rock that we're going to use as the rollaway stone for the tomb. Then we have some more flat rocks that we're going to use for stepping stones. We have some little crosses that we made out of twigs and clippers and some twine just to tie them on. You can kind of see how they're tied on there. We have some violets that we're using in the flowers. We have some soaked einkorn wheat because we're going to make some grass in here growing. And we have a little bit of extra potting soil. And the last thing that we're going to need is a little bit of saran wrap to cover over our wheat seeds where we plant them until they germinate. For this one, we had some little daffodils from our yard. These are called tete daffodils, and these we planted in here a few weeks ago. These little gray hyacinths, I can't remember if these were left from last year, if my daughter brought them. These were left from last year. So we're going to move those though, because we're going to do it's a little different. We decided to make like a little hill in this end of the garden, so it looks like the hill that Christ died on. We're going to make this stone so it looks like the hill kind of pushes up against it. And then we have some crosses. Let's see if we can stick those in a little further. Then we're going to move these little grape hyacinths we decided. So go ahead and dig that out of there. You got it? Grab a hold of it there. And you can see these have pretty good roots on them. So we're just going to move them over here in this corner behind the rock. And of course these will be blue, purpley blue when they bloom here. And they just have little buds, so hopefully that won't set it back too far. And then we have some pansies that we're going to put 3 in this end and 3 over here. So these pansies we just got at the nursery, they're really root bound. You can see there's lots and lots of white on them. So one of the things you want to do when you plant your annuals is open up those roots and butterfly them and kind of loosen them up so that they will actually take off and grow, because otherwise they're never going to get out of their little shape. So we're going to plant 3 on this end and 3 on that end. Okay, so now we want to just kind of level this spot out in the front. So we're going to add a little bit more dirt there so that it looks like the garden. And we want to get the soil up to where our door is so that we can put our rock there. We oftentimes move our garden out onto the porch when Easter's over. We'll take out the sticks and the rock and we'll add a few more little flowers in, and it'll just become a a potted garden, a miniature garden on our porch. Sometimes we'll put in little miniature garden furniture and just keep it going for the rest of summer. So now we have a little walkway. And then we have our stone that's been rolled away. I think we'll put it on that side. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is we want it to look like grass down here, like a little park, and up here on the hill. So we have this weed, and we've been soaking it, so it's kind of ready to be planted. And we're going to just spread it in here and some back here. And wheat can get really tall, so of course we're going to have to clip this wheat to make it kind of stay like grass, but we really only need this in here for a short time, just for till Easter, and then after that we can actually pull the wheat out and put our other flowers in. But it's kind of fun to have it growing around the little stepping stones and look like lawn. So now we just want to lightly sprinkle a tiny bit of dirt on the top of it. And press it in really good to your soil so it makes good contact. Okay, that looks good. And then the last thing that we want to do is water it up really good. So all those little plants just had their roots disturbed, and we want to water them into the soil so they make good contact. Okay, and then the last little step is that we'll take some saran wrap, and we're going to attempt to keep this wheat moist, and so it will continue to germinate and do well. And so we're going to just tuck it in here under these little plants. We don't want to cover our plants up, and we're going to cover that up for a few days and see if we can't get that wheat to germinate, and so we can have our little grass garden. Okay, so we're going to give this a few days, and now once it starts to poke through the ground, we can take the plastic off, and by Easter it should be looking really lovely. And so it was really fun. So thank you for joining us here in the farmhouse today. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial on building an Easter resurrection garden, and that you'll give it a try for your house. And if you enjoyed this little video, come back and join us again here at This Beautiful Farm Life by hitting that subscribe button, giving me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment if you like this. And then be sure to click on through to my blog. There's lots of other great posts there. Thanks again for joining us here in the farmhouse, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.